145 degrees Celsius.
Back to 3 Sport, and this is the action from the Saturday race in the New Zealand touring cars at Pukekohe. Now watch, look and listen as Miles Pope, you're on board the Holden Commodore. He goes into the hairpin but doesn't quite come out in great style.
Well, it sounds like something came through the floor, and that's just about what happened. Broken back axle for Miles Pope takes him out of the running in the degree race yesterday. But good news, the boys have been at work overnight, and he's back in the field for the second of the degree races today.
The Nissan Mobil 500 New Zealand touring cars are proudly presented by Degree. And all that hard work has certainly paid off, though, because this is the view from Miles Pope's Commodore. As he lines up on the start of the grid, that's Greg Brink's Commodore in the background there. They get the 5-second board, a huge crowd here at Pukekohe. It's the New Zealand touring cars, it's the reverse grid shootout. So the car at the back of the field has got to move it, otherwise he'll get the black flag as they get the green light.
Great move there from Bruce von Tunzelman in the little 71 Corolla, and Wayne Johnson in that 18 Falcon, the black and yellow car, pushing right through there.
Bit of action amongst the whole two, the Scania Commodores as well.
Teammates, these guys. That's Miles Pope and Ashley Hall in the two Scania cars, but you can see Rhys Mackay slotting into fourth behind the Brett Riley BMW.
And that's the number 4 car, the Toyota Corolla of Neil Johnson. He's got to move it because otherwise he'll be getting that black flag as we go on board. Miles Pope and the Holden Commodore looking back on Greg Brink.
Look at these guys in the little cars getting blown away as they get the V8 power gets to them down the back straight at Pukekohe. No show for the little guys.
And straight away it's that Ford Falcon of Wayne Johnson who's hit the front as they head into the hairpin, followed by Rhys Mackay and also Brett Riley. And look at how close Greg Brink is all over Miles Pope and splitting the two Scania teammates, because that's Ashley Hall in the background.
Yep, great pictures from the Pope camp here as Brink closed right in behind him. But here's the fight back at the front. This time it's a Holden versus Ford battle. That's great to see. This is what the touring car thing needs. And look at Rhys Mackay throw down the challenge down the outside here.
So can Mackay get down the outside and go through the S's and take the lead? Drifting out wide. The Falcon holding on to the inside line, but has the Commodore got the inside?
Whoa.
Yes!
What a smoky. Hey, this guy's got a new name, Smokin' Wayne Johnson.
And Brett Riley also moving up into third there, but that was great driving by Mackay. He knew if he held the outside line, sooner or later as they went into Castrol, he would be in the right spot.
Exactly right. Yeah, the boys really got a lot of talent, Rhys Mackay, and probably done quite a bit more racing than Wayne has, even though Wayne's in his 40s. He's a latter-day arrival on the motor racing scene.
So it's now the Commodore in front, the Ford Falcon second and the BMW third. And the two other Commodores now moving up into the top 5. And of course these big cars really starting to make their move on the smaller cars and leaving them behind. Great shots on board Miles Pope's Commodore.
You can see Brink absolutely positively threatening to poor old Miles Pope there, riding right up onto the back bumper in the corners. Miles seems to be able to get a little bit of a break on him as they go down the straights.
And the Wellington man really enjoying the open spaces here in Pukekohe up in Auckland, trying to go for a bit of a move too down the inside. And back out in front, it's still Mackay. Nicely through the S's. Wayne Johnson second, Brett Riley in the BMW third.
And you can see Brink did get through, so behind this fight, well, behind our leader rather, Rhys Mackay, got a bit of a ground there. Good fight going on for second place between Wayne Johnson and Brett Riley, and we did see Brink get through and move up into fourth spot.
So a bit of action already in the New Zealand touring cars as we take a look at the top 5. It's Mackay in front, Johnson second, Riley third, Pope fourth, and Greg Brink rounds out the top 5 as once again they stream down towards the hairpin. Oh, a bit of a traffic jam now.
Sure is. They're really closing up as they get towards the end of this first part of the shootout format, because after 4 laps they're all going to be yellow flagged, which means the pace car comes out, slows them right down, takes the last guy off the back of the field.
And that's the format that Paul Radisich has been racing in sometimes in the Toka Touring Car shootouts and the British Touring Car Championships. And he's actually won from the reverse grid. So it means the fast guys at the back of the field can really show their class by driving up through the other slower traffic. And as you can see here, they're starting to bunch up now in those Commodores, making a bit of a move. Oh, Brett Riley, bumpy going round the old the S's there.
Yeah, looks like the BMW doesn't like those big bumps on that fastness and sweeper too much. really buckets around there, but look how much attention he's able to give Wayne Johnson, though.
So he's got the Ford Falcon in sight. This is the number 2 BMW. Brett Riley second in last year's New Zealand Touring Car Championships as Greg Brink makes a move down the outside.
Oh yes, Brink showing the same form he showed yesterday when he won the first degree race here at Pukekohe. Now he's challenging Wayne Johnson's Falcon while he's also trying to hold off that Brett Riley BMW. Great scrap this one. Excellent to see BMW up there mixing it with Ford and Holden. What more could you ask for? Three-way contest this one for second place.
So plenty of action here at Pukekohe as the big Ford Falcon still holds off the Commodore and the BMW. This is what the crowd have come to see. Plenty of cars getting into the New Zealand touring car scene. And that's Rhys McKay out in front. He's slowing down, so it looks like after the first 4 laps, we've got the first sign of the pace car and the yellow flag.
Right, now, what we've got to look at here is the pace car will bunch the field up dramatically. Well, he's almost stopped on the back straight, in fact. Not so good for those heated up motors, I wouldn't think. But the guy's just going to tootle around now, down the back of the back straight, the end of the back straight. The guy who's running last will be black flagged out of the race, has to pull into pit lane.
And this is the scene from Miles Pope's Commodore. He's got his teammate Ashley Hall just behind him. And as you take a look further back, a great shot from the bumper cam of the big Commodore. And all these other cars screaming up to try, but they can't pass because the pace car's out there. So who is the last car that is gone? It's unlucky number 21.
Oh, poor old Gary Perriam and his little Peugeot 106. He's the guy who's going to get pointed into the pit lane. Goodbye, Gary. There he is, number 21. Little Peugeot really didn't stand a chance against these guys, right?
But no doubt he's had a bit of fun while he's been out there. So it's, as you say, yeah, goodbye, Gary. Puts up the big wave. Cheers, mate. And he's down into pit lane. So his race is over. But now the shootout, the reverse grid shootout, exciting stuff. This continues as the leaders come up over the top of Mobil Mountain. And now, of course, it's another race because they've all bunched up again. And they can just sprint away for another 4 laps to stay out there and stay away from last spot. They get the green flag, and it's Rhys McKay once again. He's got that big Commodore out in front.
Yeah, Wayne Johnson again slots into the second spot, and just to make it difficult for all of us, hard to pick those two apart. Wayne Johnson in second, Greg Brink in third, and the almost identically painted Holden Commodore, but a Ford Falcon versus Commodore. Now we've got the tail enders. That's Wayne Moore in the 30 Nissan dropping to the rear. He's going to be worried already.
He'll be sweating in that little wee Nissan Sentra, I can tell you that, as he tries and gets off the last spot as they boom down the back straight. McKay out in front, had a pretty good weekend down in the first round of the Nissan Mobil 500. And look at this, the big move. It's Greg Brink up into second in front of that almost identical looking Ford Falcon. 2 guys with the same panel beater pipes or the same car painter.
Well, the guys used to race together in the Nissan GT Cup, which is also where Rhys McKay came from. So that's proving to be a good breeding ground, if you like. I don't know if that's the right word or not, but breeding ground for the guys to come into the touring cars. McKay's certainly a great graduate from that scene. And he's also got a bit of an edge over Brink, I think, at the end of this lap 5, because he's had a year of development with this car, whereas Greg's just bought it new.
So it's Rhys McKay in that Commodore. Greg Brink starting to bear down on him, just lifting up those wheels, getting up onto 3 wheels. Nice smooth lines as they pour down onto the back straight. And he's really starting to close up now. This is the battle for the lead. It's the degree New Zealand touring cars. Is that smoke?
Yeah.
That doesn't look good for Rhys McKay.
No, looks a bit, well, let's not put the kiss of death on him, but there's a lot of smoke coming out from the back end of that car. Hard to tell whether it's exhaust smoke, which, of course, engine problem, whether he's got a tyre rubbing or not, but we've seen no reason for it, except now maybe he's going to get a bit of panel damage. But Rhys has had a pretty clean run till now, so don't know. I hope it's not too ominous for the boy.
And no doubt Greg Brink will be getting a nice smell and sight of that from the bumper of McKay's Commodore, and he'll be saying, hello, mate, you got a bit of trouble there. I'm just going to get nicely in behind you, follow your racing lines all the way down the straight here, and see if I can put you under a bit of pressure this time. No, looks like he's kicked clear now, Reece Mackay.
Well, of course, the big thing you've got to worry about it, even at the front of the field, is that you don't make any mistakes, because if you spin it up, you're going to drop to the back and you're out ski. So, I mean, you can be the fastest guy in the field, have a little spin, and you're going to be black flagged in another couple of laps' time.
Outski, the Polish cousin of Gonberger, as they head down the back straight now. It's still the two big Commodores. And can Greg Brink, the absolutely positively Wellington man, move up quicker than the sea shuttles that are trying to cross the Cook Strait these days as they move down towards the hairpin? Too wide. And Brink, I don't think he's got the right line. Perhaps he might try and duck up on the inside. No, he's out too wide.
It's a good move. It's a nice try, Greg, but I think Reece has seen that one before, mate, and no way is he going to fall for that. So he just nicely carries him off to the edge of the track and says, okay, mate, try again later. So Greg doesn't really have to do anything silly. He just put a bit of pressure on, just nibble away like that and keep the pressure on, hoping for a mistake, but of course he can make his move a bit later, you know.
Coming up towards the end of lap 7, and these two have really kicked clear of the rest of the field. I mean, there's quite a big distance back now towards the battle of 3rd, 4th and 5th, which is also heading up too. So as you can see there, it's Mackay first, Brink second, Johnson in the Ford Falcon holding off that battle from Brett Riley in the BMW, and Ashley Hall in another one of the Holden Commodores as they head down the back straight once again. The Nissan Mobil 500, it's the first race of the New Zealand touring cars for this big Sunday. And of course, there's plenty of action still to come on 3 Sport this afternoon, and one man who's getting right into the action again, it's that boy Brink.
Yeah, well, he's going to have another crack. He's got a little bit further alongside. I think he's going to be shown the same place. Just those nasty rumble strips on the outside of the hairpin don't work so good when you're trying to get the power down. So Brinky has to just button off a little bit. But boy, he's doing a good job. These are two good drivers. Brink, being a former motocross ace, was a works rider in Great Britain, used to do the full European Championship. Oh, here we go, pace car period starts again. So the yellow flag slows them down. They have to hold the positions.
And while the cars take a short break, we'll be back with the regroup right after this.
I wanna take you home.
Right now, you can enjoy the luxury of a new V6 Nissan Maxima S for just $38,850. And for a limited time, the Maxima...
Welcome back to 3 Sport. It's a bit like the old OK Corral here, because this is another part of the shootout for the touring cars. They get the green flag at Pukekohe, and I think Wayne Munro, the unlucky driver who's missed out on the restart from the regroup. We can see the Toyota Corolla and also the Nissan Sentra of Wayne Moore as they come down onto the back straight, but no sign of unlucky number 6, Miles Pope.
Yeah, it could be the same gremlin that struck yesterday. I don't know whether it is or not, but the guy broke an axle during yesterday's race, of course, and failed to make it to the cut for this one. So even though the little Nissan was running last, he's still in the race. But look at this boy up front. Reece Mackay taking the pressure from Greg Brink again. Same place, same deal all over.
Well, I was just about to say, before the yellow flag came out last time, you've got to feel a bit sorry for Reece Mackay. I mean, he's out in front, he's working really hard, holding off the challenges, and just when you think he may have kicked a bit clear and got a bit of breathing space, out comes the pace car again. They all bunch up, and he's got to do it all again.
Yeah, I wonder if he's really holding back something. I don't know, or whether it's pride just says, hey, I'm a racing driver, I go for it. And maybe that's exactly what's happening now, because Brink's certainly putting a lot of pressure on him, not doing anything stupid, but really hounding it.
And psychologically too, Greg Brink will know that he doesn't have to push all the time, because he knows that there's still more yellow flags to come out. They're going to bunch up again, so he can actually play that cat and mouse duel and that waiting game and just pick the nice spot to, okay, I'm going to take you now.
Yep, he's looking for any different lines that Reece takes that he figures, yeah, maybe next time if I just line him up on the last segment of this race, I can do it. Well, maybe he's not going to wait. He's going to try this one again. He's nagging away at this idea, and the same thing happening behind with Ashley Hall.
Oh, there he is, Brink. Oh, and he's just clipped the front of Reece Mackay. And Brink on the brink of moving into first. He does it, and the dogfight continues back there too, because it looked like Ashley Hall had got up to third, but Riley under brakes out of the hairpin, whips it back again.
Yeah, Brett Riley wouldn't give him a place for nothing, that's for sure. And Ashley Hall, just a newcomer to the touring car scene, so he's probably got a few things to learn. And I mean, Brett's been around for years.
So Greg Brink has grabbed the lead in the touring car shootout. He did it nicely too. Just, well, not too nice as far as Reece Mackay's concerned. You got, from the look of that replay, he may have just clipped the front guard of Mackay's Commodore. Shades of the old Nissan Sentras, buddy.
Yep, these guys learned their lessons in that place, I think. Bit of close racing there, nothing nasty in it, I wouldn't say. Just a nice try, and this time it works. So,
well, they may have to bring out the odd nudge bar every time they rebuild these cars. So it's Brink, he's out in front now, opening up a bit of a gap too on Reece Mackay. We saw some smoke further on, or further back in the race, but at this stage no sign of smoke from that Commodore again. But when you look at it, Brink's got past him and opened up quite a handy gap, and he's done it quite comfortably too. So it's Brink first, then it's back to Mackay, and that battle for third, fourth and fifth is really hotting up.
Yep, Brett Riley really putting the pressure on, but Brink, this car of his has got some serious horsepower. Look how much he's pulled away from Mackay just in the space of a lap. Great going from this car, that's for sure.
So coming up to the end of lap 11 of 24. Remember, they started from the reverse grid, and there is a great little scrap developing here. Ashley Hall all over the BMW of Brett Riley. He's had a bit of bad luck in the last year or so, second last year in that touring car battle with his teammate Craig Beard, and had a pretty good weekend down in Wellington with the first round of the Nissan Mobil 500, but of course he wasn't able to get a drive in the 2 litres. So he's really pumped up to do well in the touring cars this year, but the Commodore's really putting the pressure on the Beamers.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening here with the BMWs, because the times we're seeing, the lap times we're getting from them, would suggest they're actually going maybe even as much as a second slower than they did last year with the same cars. Don't quite know why. The other cars seem to be progressing forward. BMWs maybe just lost their way a little bit today somewhere in the car setup, because the second's quite a bit to give away, and you can see the result being hounded by Ashley Hall, who's only a new guy to the scene, so Brett won't like this a hell of a lot.
One of the nicely prepared Scania Holden Commodores, as you can see, all over Brett Riley as they head down the main straight, and Brett Riley into the Nissan sweeper, and he's still holding off that challenge from Ashley Hall. And once again, well, they're slowing down up front. So it looks like we've got the yellow flag out again, and the pace car's back out on the circuit. So it gives all the drivers another chance to have a bit of a breather and rethink their race tactics. That's the top 5. Brink, Mackay, Riley, Hall and Johnson now dropped off the pace in the Ford Falcon, but he gets that chance to close up and have another crack.
It's going to be good to see whether Reece Mackay can do something off the line about Brink this time, because I think he's now conceded a little bit of performance to him. Maybe he can get him off the line again, because he did open up a gap at the start of the last race, and just see if he can get the break, hold that lead.
As you take a look at the field as they're coming down towards the hairpin, we'll go through the field for you. There's Brink, there's Mackay, there's Riley, Hall, Johnson, and the unlucky car, there it is with the handout. That's Wayne Moore, car number 30, the Nissan Sentra, and he's the one that's gone burger this time. He'll get the big wave to move into pit lane. See you later. Thanks for coming. Enjoyed the race, but now the shootout continues.
Yeah, and the guy who'll be sweating it out in this part of the shootout is Neil Johns in that little Toyota Corolla. You could see, you'll pick him up at the back of the field. He's somehow got to get up in contention with Grant Aiken's Suzuki or Bruce von Tunzelmann's Toyota.
So they get the green light again, or the green flag, and once again from that bunched restart, there's Johns. He'll be saying, man, if I just had a bit more horsepower.
But look up front, it's Brink, no worries whatsoever. Gets the break from Mackay. Now there could be a bit of foxing going on here, because of course it's still early days. There's another segment of this at least to go, and that means Mackay can save himself towards the end. And talking to Julian Bailey and the guys who've experienced these shootouts in Britain, that's exactly what you're going to do. Just be clean, nice and tidy, stay on the front bunch, ready for the race at the very last death of the whole deal, you know.
And that really is the real race, isn't it? The sudden death shootout when it's the last 4 laps and bang, you've got to go for the checkered flag. And, you know, there's going to be no regroup or restart at the end of those 4. So it's a matter of pacing yourself, the cat and mouse duel, keep it nice and clean, keep your car away from trouble, which is a bit hard sometimes in the BTC, I can tell you that. But so far, the Kiwi boys doing a nice job here in the New Zealand touring cars.
Well, they've got a little bit more space too, and there's a few dropouts from this field, of course, today, which is a pity. The Alfa Romeos discovered yesterday, Ashley Stitchbury and our Wellington winner from last year, Owen Evans, unfortunately had cracked disc brakes, calipers, had to make the decision for safety. They'd withdraw from today's race, just couldn't do anything about it in time. That was a pity. And the other guy who's missing from the field, Keith Sharp in the Honda, and Keith actually collapsed after he got out of the car and testing on Friday, and it was said to be maybe a viral heart infection, something pretty serious, a lung infection maybe. He's in hospital. The good news is that we hear he's on the road to recovery.
Well, that's good news because we got some great shots on board as Honda Integra last week during the Nissan Mobil 500, the first round in Wellington. And I certainly hope that Keith Sharp does make a sharp recovery. Okay, this is your top 5 again, and there's a real exciting duel at the back of the field to stay away from the old black flag country. The 2 Corollas down the back of the field there, and a Suzuki Swift as well. Having a real little wee scrap as the scrap continues too for 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, Brett Riley doing everything he can to stay clear of Ashley Hall, but look at that big Scania Commodore loom up behind. Lurches around the corner here, both the cars really picking up the bumps in this very fast corner. No one likes that a hell of a lot because it's a real tricky corner. Gets a big bump that flicks you out towards the outside of the track. But Brett's doing well to hold him off at the moment because he's certainly giving away some horsepower.
Hot track today too, so it's going to be pretty tough on the old tyres. The BMW, the Cellnet BMW of Brett Riley. That's Greg Brink in the Commodore, Reese Mackay in the Commodore, and Ashley Hall. Can he make a move? Will he try and do it under brakes at the hairpin?
Well, I'd hope for Brett's case he doesn't, because he was looming up right behind him, making no effort to pull wide or go round. There we go with the leaderboard. Brink out front, Mackay in second. This is the fight, Riley and Hall, with Wayne Johnson holding station just behind them.
And further back down the field, the battle continues too between Neil Johns and the Toyota Corolla, Grant Aiken on that Suzuki Swift that had a great weekend down in Wellington.
Whoa, look at this. Hall slingshot past Riley, trying the outside line.
No, he hasn't. Riley says, oh, no, you can try that, mate, but I'm going to grab it back. Great scrap for 3rd. Really is turning out to be one of the features of the shootout so far.
Yep, Ashley Hall. This is really a great performance from him, from a relative rookie to come in. There we go. John's out.
Well, perhaps they may not need the black flag because it looks like that Corolla has cooked it. And he's parked it up on the side of the back straights. That's disappointment for Neil Johns and the Toyota Corolla as Brinky comes back down towards the hairpin, and Ashley Hall setting himself up for another go at Brett Riley.
Yeah, Riley knows his way around this place very, very well, and Ashley Hall will be getting some really good driving lessons at the moment just by following
Just
Riley.
getting it a little bit loose too.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, he's just sort of, I think he's cruising. He just knows he's just got to hold him off. He needs that start position ahead of him to try and, well, to hope he's going to stay in contention with the 2 boys out front come the restart.
So this is the yellow flag. That means they'll just bunch up as Ashley Hall. He can't overtake on the yellow flag there. Just got to hold your positions. And as the drivers get set for the regroup, we'll take a short break. We'll be back with the restart right after this.
Enter the Old Spice competition in stores where you see this entry form, and you could be off to the 1995
Field bunching up, coming back around towards the hairpin. You can see the top 5, Brink, Mackay, Hall, Riley, Johnson, but the real battle is between Grant Aiken and Bruce von Tunzelman and the Toyota Corolla and the Suzuki Swift, because one of these guys is going to get the black flag to park it in pit lane. Doesn't look that hot for the Suzuki at the moment.
No, Grant, who was one of the heroes, if you like, that little guy who took it to the big guys at Wellington last week. We loved him. Well, we didn't love him, but, you know, we thought he was great.
Hello, look at that. The Corollas thought he was going to go for the big call-up.
Bruce von Tunzelman was about to turn into pit lane. No, it's Grant Aiken. The Suzuki is out.
And he gave him a little wee wave in the rear vision mirror. Down for the final 4 laps now. This is the shootout to the checkered flag. And it's Greg Brink, Reese Mackay. Whoa, pretty close there between Brett Riley and Ashley Hall. And Riley having a go too.
Wow, Brett just snaking into the corner there, right on the tail of Reese Mackay. But a nice bit of driving, Ashley Hall, no dirty stuff in there. Buttoned off when he was just about to collect Brett in the middle of the first corner. But look at Brink go.
He really has opened up a handy lead straight from that restart. Back down the back straight. Brink, Mackay, Hall's grabbed up to third. And it's Riley who's under pressure now from the Ford Falcon.
Yeah, but just watch Brett Riley. I don't think he'll be giving way very easily at all. Wayne Johnson on the outside. Ashley Hall, now you can see Brett holds the place. Okay, no problem. And this is his part of the circuit. If the BMW performs well anywhere, it's around this half, not the straight, the dog leg down the back straight. This is where he might come back into contention, but, well, it's a big gap. I think not.
So it's the 3 Commodores out in front. They've had a year of development and they're really starting to get these big V8s winding up as the Ford Falcon is all over Brett Riley, who's holding on to 4th spot. But can anyone put the pressure on Greg Brink out in front? Riley, whoa, the Falcon's smoking it through the S's.
Yeah, he's definitely earning a new name, that guy. Wayne Johnson, smoking Wayne Johnson. Smoked it up there in an earlier race and now back at it. But Brink, there he is, there's the order. Mackay in second, Ashley Hall, the rookie, in third. There's Brett Riley's BMW and Wayne Johnson, the man we just saw locking him up.
So if Johnson's smoking it, this guy is really cooking it today. He's running hot at the moment. Greg Brink making up for all that disappointment down in Wellington where he was forced to park the car along the streets of Wellington with engine problems. Ashley Hall, Brett Riley, Johnson. It's the sprint to the finish.
Well, this was the scene of a great finale to the Touring Car Championship last year between Craig Baird, who won the title by 1 point from his teammate. But look at this, the BMW is definitely left out of this act today. Back in 4th place with 2 laps still to go. He's got no way to come back at these guys.
Now can Reese Mackay, whoa, getting it up on 3 wheels. Brink just letting the big car do the work for him. And Reese Mackay starting to just poke his nose up behind the bumper of the other Commodore and put the pressure on.
Yeah, this is a great fight between these two. Brink is a pretty cool customer, though. He's been around all that kind of racing, even if it was on 2 wheels, knows how to handle that stuff. And Reese will be trying all the tricks he learned in kart racing, Formula Fords and the Nissan GT Cup, trying to find some way through, but well, doesn't look likely at the minute.
And just like down in Wellington, the hairpin's the main place to do your passing. Probably a few more spots around here at Pukekohe, but a lot of people putting the squeeze on under brakes as they go through to the hairpin now, up and under Dunlop, up and over the top of Mobil Mountain, down towards the start-finish line. And it's Greg Brink who's going to start the last lap in front.
Yes, and in front by quite a reasonable margin too. Reese has really got his work cut out now to try and close this gap. He is quick though through the S's here. Watch this. Let's see if Mackay can make up any ground on that Ubix Commodore out front.
And smoothly done by both drivers too, just lifting that front wheel. A bit like Sparky and the talking trainers. Brink under pressure now from Reese Mackay. And this is the challenge for the lead. Can he do it?
What did we say about boxing? This guy has been waiting to just see how fast he pulled out alongside. Now he's got to run down to the hairpin. He just needs to be, who's going to be latest on the brakes will decide this. Watch these guys, see which one looks, oh, Reese gets a bit loose. Problem there for the Aztec Commodore. Not good at all under the brakes.
They were playing chicken going into that hairpin, and I think Greg Brink has got the slightly, shall we say, bigger ones. He just held on to it. And it's Greg Brink now coming up under Dunlop, up and over the top of Mobil Mountain. I think the motor racing fans know what I'm talking about here, as Brink comes down to win the reverse grid shootout for the New Zealand touring cars in a last-ditch effort by Reece Mackay right on the line.
I thought you'd spoken too soon then, because Reece Mackay was coming back to get him on the inside. Didn't quite make it, but what a great finish. You can see that definitely Reece Mackay was foxing a little bit, threw down the big challenge at the finish.
The Nissan Mobil 500 New Zealand touring cars are proudly presented by Degree. So wrapping up the results on the New Zealand touring cars, the reverse grid shootout. Brink first, Mackay second, great scrap at the top of the field. Hall third, Brett Riley coming home in fourth, and Wayne Johnson rounds out the top five in the Ford Falcon. 1, 2, 3 for the Commodores, and the pits, Murray Taylor.
Greg, 6 races for the price of 1.
You're not wrong there, and it keeps you on your toes. I love the format. It just makes a race within a race. It's excellent, but I must admit I had my heart in my mouth the last two laps. I had fuel surge, and Reece, I came out of through railway there, and there was just nothing at home, and I saw Reece come up, get the slingshot, and it was only through a desperate braking that I got back in front of him, so we're relieved to be there at the end.
Greg, you won 4 out of 6, and you won the important one.
Yes, this is the one we wanted to, and the end one's the one, isn't it? That's where it's all at. So we could have lost it so easily, so we're wrapped, yeah.
So a very happy Greg Brink talking to Murray Taylor, and coming up we've got the shootout for the 2 litres, the Super Tourers. But before we get into that, let's just take a look back at those amazing highlights from the first race of the Nissan Mobil 500, featuring the shootout between the teammates of the Schnitzer team. Touring car